Welcome back to The Lost Tactician, where we uncover the forgotten strategies that shaped survival and civilization itself. Today, we're diving into one of humanity's most fundamental battles, a struggle not fought with weapons, but with ingenuity. Imagine standing beside a murky, sediment-choked river, your only source of water for miles, knowing that one wrong sip could mean the difference between life and death for your entire community. For thousands of years before microscopes revealed the invisible armies of bacteria and parasites, ancient civilizations developed astonishingly effective methods to transform contaminated waterways into drinkable sources. This is the story of pre-industrial water filtration, a testament to human innovation that sustained empires, built cities, and saved countless lives using nothing but observation, patience, and the raw materials provided by nature itself. Long before the first water treatment plant hummed to life, our ancestors faced a crisis we can barely comprehend in our modern world of faucets and filtration systems. Every river, stream, and standing pool presented a gamble. The water that looked clear might harbor death, while turbid brown streams could sometimes prove safer after proper treatment. Ancient peoples didn't understand pathogens or bacterial contamination, but they understood consequence. They watched neighbors sicken after drinking from certain sources. They observed that water from some locations caused fewer illnesses than others. They noticed patterns in how water behaved when left undisturbed or passed through certain materials. This empirical knowledge, accumulated across generations and refined through countless trials and inevitable errors, became the foundation of survival itself. Communities that failed to master water purification simply didn't survive to pass on their knowledge. Those that succeeded built civilizations that would endure for millennia, and their methods reveal a sophistication that challenges our assumptions about ancient technological capabilities. The most fundamental technique emerged from simple observation: patience. Ancient peoples discovered that allowing river water to stand motionless in large vessels or specially constructed basins produced remarkable results. Heavier particles of clay, silt, and organic matter would gradually sink downward, drawn by gravity into dense layers at the bottom, while clearer water remained above. This process of natural sedimentation required no tools beyond containers and time, yet it transformed opaque, muddy water into something visibly cleaner. The Romans elevated this principle to an engineering art form, constructing massive settling basins along their famous aqueduct systems. These weren't mere holding tanks, but carefully designed structures where water velocity slowed dramatically, allowing particles hours or even days to settle before the clarified water continued its journey towards cities and public fountains. The largest of these basins could hold millions of gallons, serving entire urban populations. In India and throughout the Middle East, similar principles governed the design of stepwells and underground cisterns, where water descended through multiple chambers, each one allowing additional sediment to fall away before the cleanest water collected in the deepest, most protected reservoirs. But sedimentation alone couldn't remove everything. Ancient engineers discovered that by layering natural materials, they could create barriers that trapped even finer impurities. Sand filtration systems appeared in ancient Egypt and India, where craftsmen arranged beds of increasingly fine sand and gravel in strategic sequences. Water would percolate downward through these layers, and each stratum captured particles smaller than the last. The top layer of coarse gravel stopped larger debris. Middle layers of medium sand trapped silt and clay particles. The finest sand at the bottom removed microscopic impurities that would otherwise pass through. These early, slow sand filters operated on biological principles their creators couldn't have understood. Beneficial bacteria colonized the top layers, consuming organic contaminants and creating what modern engineers call the Schmutzdecke, or dirty layer, which actually enhanced filtration efficiency. In Sanskrit texts dating back thousands of years, we find descriptions of another remarkable filtration material, charcoal. Ancient Indians discovered that passing water through burned wood didn't just remove visible particles, but improved taste and eliminated foul odors. What they had stumbled upon was adsorption, the principle by which charcoal's porous structure binds chemical impurities and organic compounds to its surface. This same principle underlies the activated carbon filters in modern water treatment systems, a direct technological descendant of ancient wisdom. Perhaps most impressive were the chemical treatments ancient peoples developed through careful experimentation. Egyptian texts from 1500 BCE describe using alum, a naturally occurring mineral compound, to clarify water. When added to turbid water, alum causes suspended particles to clump together into larger aggregates that settle rapidly, a process called coagulation or flocculation. This wasn't accidental discovery, but deliberate application of chemical principles understood through practice rather than theory. The Greeks contributed their own innovations, including Hippocrates' famous cloth filter, a simple bag of tightly woven fabric that could strain boiled water to remove remaining particles. Boiling itself was universally recognized as beneficial, though ancient peoples attributed its effectiveness to driving out bad air or evil spirits, rather than understanding that heat killed microorganisms. Persian engineers constructed qanats, underground channels that transported water from mountain sources through naturally filtering layers of soil and rock, sometimes for dozens of miles, emerging clean and cool in desert cities. Indian communities used crushed seeds from the nirmali tree, which released natural coagulants when stirred into water. African societies discovered that certain plant roots could purify water, a practice validated by modern research showing that xylem tissue from pine and other woody plants can filter out bacteria. These ancient methods weren't perfect. They couldn't eliminate all pathogens, and waterborne diseases remained killers throughout human history until the germ theory revolution. Yet their effectiveness was remarkable given available technology. Modern studies of traditional sand filtration have shown removal rates of 99% or higher for certain bacteria and parasites. In our current era of water scarcity and environmental challenges, these low-tech solutions offer valuable lessons. They required no electricity, no complex machinery, no chemical plants or supply chains. They utilized locally available materials and operated on principles of gravity and natural processes. In developing regions today, simple sand filters and solar disinfection methods based directly on ancient techniques provide safe drinking water to millions who lack access to municipal systems. The forgotten genius of our ancestors reminds us that sophisticated solutions don't always require sophisticated technology. Sometimes they require only careful observation, patient experimentation, and deep respect for the natural processes that sustain all life. This is the Lost Tactician, reminding you that survival has always been humanity's greatest teacher. If this journey through forgotten wisdom resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations of how our ancestors' ingenuity shaped the world we inhabit today. Share this with anyone who appreciates the intersection of history, survival, and human resilience. Until next time, stay curious, stay prepared, and never forget the lessons written in the margins of history.